Slininger, birth doula, birth coach. Today, I want to talk to you about anxiety during pregnancy and labor. Now, I will be upfront with you. I do not have kids myself, but the things that I'm going to talk to you about are based on things that I have learned through my own personal life experience and things that I have learned throughout my training as a birth coach. And I hope that you will find these tips useful, and please feel free to post in the comments any feedback on the videos, any questions that you may have, any concerns you may have. I'd be happy to address them with you. So just feel free to post them there. Now, let's talk anxiety during pregnancy. Like I said, a lot of these things that I've learned are either from my own personal life experiences, because I personally, especially the past 2 to 4 years, have struggled with anxiety a lot. And so, guys, I want to tell you, I know what you're going through. And I know that this is not an easy thing to deal with. It's not easy to cope with, and it's definitely a process to learn how to manage it. So again, I'm not going to tell you it's easy. Trust me, I feel for you, because I am very much the same way. But there are things that I have found very helpful, and I feel that they could help you through your pregnancy as well. One thing, try your best to keep busy, okay? Find things that you like to do that can occupy your time. I find for myself, if I stay busy, that is the number one thing that helps me, okay? And I'm not going to say that this is going to solve everything, and I acknowledge that it may not work for every person, especially if you're really worried about the birth, or you're really worried about coping or things like that. That's more than understandable. And that actually brings me to another point. Do not be afraid to talk to someone, whether it be a doula, a childbirth educator. Any one of those resources can help you. One of the things I always like to tell my clients is, if you have a fear of coping with labor or how you might respond to it, my philosophy on that is this: everyone experiences labor in a different way and in their own way. And every person, I don't care who you are, has to find their own way to cope with it. And whatever that is for you, that really doesn't matter to me. If it's loud earthly tones, I really don't care. As long as you and baby are safe, it really doesn't matter how you cope. And I know that there's a lot of shame and stigma around screaming, yelling, things like that, and I understand that. But those things are not a bother to me as long as you and baby are safe. So don't ever feel shame for how you respond to labor. And a lot of times, I've actually read recently that a lot of times when you react to labor, you don't really act much more out of character than what you normally would with a painful or intense experience. Yes, there's a lot of hormones and a lot of things that are influenced by this, but I mean, a lot of times you're not going to act way out of character for yourself. So that's another thing. Just don't be afraid of how you cope, because everyone has to cope in a different way. Another tip that I want to offer for you for anxiety is learn all that you can. Stay educated. Childbirth education classes are so helpful with this. Doulas can offer information. That's one of our biggest roles, but you learn the most really from trying to take a childbirth class, and that will help you to prepare for the birth and help you to be very well educated and know how to manage anything that comes your way. So just make sure you stay prepared. And another suggestion I have is surround yourself with loved ones. Surround yourself with people that understand, and don't be afraid to open up to your family or those that are going to be at the birth. It's very helpful for you to have someone to talk to about these kind of circumstances. I know for myself, incessantly I'm talking to one of my best friends about my anxiety, and let me tell you, I find it so therapeutic because, guys, while I have not been pregnant before, I'm right there with you. I have dealt with anxiety so much, and I find it surprising how either talking to someone or keeping busy will make it very much more manageable for me. And so that really makes it easy if you just have someone that you can confide in, someone that you can talk to. You know, it might be your husband, it may be a family member, it might be your best friend. You know, I know for myself, I find it most helpful to talk to a friend of mine because they really know what I'm dealing with, because they kind of deal with the same things. So I think that's kind of very useful to just confide in people. You know, it might be a partner, might be family member, might be friend, might be a childbirth educator, but just find someone. Another thing, and it kind of goes along the same lines as keeping yourself busy, do what makes you feel good. Find something that you really enjoy doing. Believe it or not, you may find this kind of funny, but for me, it's cleaning and organizing. I told my family recently, I'm like, I don't know why, but I really like cleaning. Like, I actually find it therapeutic. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have a really hard time getting started, and so that's kind of an issue there. But you know, once I get started, I find it really enjoyable. I actually find it, as I said, almost therapeutic. It just puts my mind in a happier place. So it makes me not so afraid of anything. So just kind of find things to keep yourself busy. And mind you, these are tips that will help you through pregnancy. I know the coping one was kind of a labor thing, and that's okay. But a lot of these tips can actually apply for labor as well. One big thing, both for pregnancy and labor, be sure to educate yourself. The more knowledge you have and the more understanding that you have about the birth process, the more prepared you're going to be, the less afraid you're going to be, and that's going to be very useful. And it's great if those that are going to be with you during the birth are educated as well. The more knowledge that you all can have, the less likely you are to have such a hard time with the anxiety. And another thing with labor is learn comfort measures. Know ways to cope and learn about all the medications used, and know your options. That's the biggest thing. You would be very surprised to find all the options that you do have when it comes to pain relief, when it comes to managing labor. You know, there's a lot more options than people realize. You know, for example, there's other medications that you can use instead of an epidural, because I hear all the time, oh, I'm so scared of the epidural. There are other options that you can take if that's too uncomfortable for you. Now, you can obviously get an epidural. I'm not sitting here telling you not to or anything, but there's other options if it makes you that uncomfortable. You know, there's other types of pain medication that they can provide that would help you in that type of situation. One thing that I have found helpful with epidurals is if you get someone talking about something else while the procedure's going on, kind of distract them and put their mind in a different place. And of course, lots of encouragement and support. My clients will tell you I am huge about that. I love to be as encouraging as possible. And learning various comfort measures, that's another thing for labor, you know, because there's a lot of ways that you can cope with the discomforts of labor. So educating yourself and knowing the different comfort measures that can be used for labor will be very helpful as well. I hope you found these tips helpful. Feel free to post in the comments any other questions, concerns, anything you might have. I'll be happy to answer them, so please do that. And I hope you guys have a great day.